Welcome to Really American. I am Michael Hain. So, the campaign team of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are mocking Trump after it was revealed that the Trump campaign wants to change the debate parameters. Yes, the bone spurs are kicking in hard for Trumpy Dumpty, and he's dodging Kamala like he's dodged the draft. Now, apparently, Trump was so eager to debate Joe Biden this summer that he agreed to several conditions, one of which was to have his mic muted while President Biden was talking. I wish we could mute him in real life, but that's like an Olympian task that I'm not even sure Simone Biles can complete. If you recall his nonstop, impetuous, man-child outbursts during the 2020 debate, when actually that key moment when President Biden looked to him and said, "Would you shut up, man?" Great moment. Anyway, so that was due to his erratic behavior then. So Kamala Harris, a former prosecutor, isn't the least bit worried about Trumpy Dumpty's microphone being on when she's talking. In fact, according to Priscilla Lopez of CNN, the Democrats want Trump's microphone on during the debate, imagining him going in all sorts of outbursts that'll, make him look incredibly bad. The Harris Walz team went as far as to put out statements mocking Trump. Apparently, Brian Fallon, the senior advisor for communications, out a statement which read in part, "Our understanding is that Trump's handlers prefer the muted microphone because they don't think their candidate can act presidential for 90 minutes on his own." Of course he can't. "We suspect Trump's team has not even told their boss about this dispute because it would be too embarrassing to admit they don't think he can handle himself against Vice President Harris without the benefit of a mute button. Quote, the vice president is ready to deal with Trump's constant lies and interruption in real time. Trump should stop hiding behind the mute." But as we near closer to the debate, Trumpy Dumpty is turning into one big old fat Kentucky Fried Chicken, and he is trying desperately to manufacture any type of bullshit to get out of this debate. Let's take a look at what he said over the weekend.
Well, I watched this weekend, and it's the worst of all networks. George Slopadopoulos and all of the different people, and the worst. And they had this Jonathan Karl, who's a lightweight, and he was asking questions of Tom Cotton, who was fantastic, by the way. Only a total pro could have gotten through that interview. And I watched that group talk to Biden about vanilla ice cream. And then I watched the way they went after Tom Cotton, and Tom Cotton handled it like easy. But when you see the level of hatred in that room, and when you see Jonathan Karl, who's terrible, I mean, he's just terrible. He's just an average person. But they tell him what to do. And then when you look at the roundtable they had, which was Donna Brazile, wasn't she the one that gave Hillary Clinton the questions when she was at CNN? Maybe, is that right? Donna Brazile gave the questions. You know that, right? That was her. I'm looking. I said, I haven't seen her in a long time, but she's the one that gave the questions to a debate to Hillary Clinton, Crooked Hillary. And when I look at that, and I looked at, there was some other, a blonde woman, I have no idea who she was. The level of hostility was incredible. And Reince was in there, but he was a little bit softer than he should be, to be honest with you. But when I looked at the hostility of that, I said, why am I doing it? Let's do it with another network. I want to do it. I won because of debates. Ask Biden. But I won because of debates. I want to do debates. But she, the head of ABC, is her comrade's best friend. You know that, right? They like husbands and the whole thing. What kind of a deal is that? I want to have a fair debate. And they can ask me tough questions. I don't mind. I think I've heard them all from you. I hear them every day. But I think it's very unfair. The single worst network for unfairness, I think, worse than CNN, worse than NBC, which is really hard to believe, and CBS is probably the best.
I mean, the fact remains that everybody's unfair to Trump. I mean, you look at CNN, they're fake news. I mean, NBC, they're fake news. Newsmax, wonderful network. Trump really likes them. They should probably do it. I believe it was like 3 weeks ago when Trumpy Dumpty was first whining and bitching about ABC News having this debate. Anyway, at that time, former Trump press secretary, which one? I don't know, you had like 50 of them, but former Trump press secretary Anthony Scaramucci weighed in on what would happen if Trump backed out of that debate. So let's see that clip since it's pretty relevant now.
Start first on Trump backing out of this debate that was previously scheduled with ABC News. What do you think about that?
I think it's very typical of him, but he's 100% going to debate Vice President Harris. And so there'll be a negotiation. It'll likely not be Fox News. It probably won't be ABC News, but they'll pick a venue and they'll debate. And so this is him posturing. This is him trying to get attention. It's hard for him, but he has struggled over the last 3 weeks to win the attention cycle. He certainly hasn't gotten it relative to the Harris campaign. And so he's trying to do that right now. And I think he ends up debating her. It would be a disaster for him. And he has good political instincts, whether you like him or not. It'll be a disaster for him if he doesn't debate the vice president.
So you think he understands, and it's in his mind, that he does need to debate her at some point?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, listen, he knows if he doesn't debate her, he has 6 weeks of getting pounded by her and her vice presidential candidate on the fact that he didn't debate her. There's also a tension in Mr. Trump's personality. He has a difficult time with women. It was evidenced last week. It's been evidenced since the Hillary Clinton campaign against him. What a disaster it would be for him and his people if she can say very simply and very concisely, gee, he was just afraid to debate me because I'm more put together. I'm more cognitively aware. I'm more more verbal acuity than him. What a disaster it would be for him. He knows that. He's just trying to figure out if he can cause some commotion right now. And
problems with verbal acuity? You think? I'm fairly certain that a dead honey badger has more significant verbal acuity over Trumpty Dumpty. The man can't string a sentence together without having a massive stroke. I mean, it is just perpetual verbal dysentery. Unfair to Trump. Rigged. The man's vocabulary is limited to like 5 words. Rigged. Fake. Unfair. Slippery. Cheating. Kamala. And of course, Trumpty Dumpty was thrilled about having to once again debate President Biden and is letting those bone spurs kick in and crapping that diaper extra hard, knowing that it's going to have to be Kamala Harris now, because we all know that tiny, tiny little man is terrified of women. Female empowerment is as scary to me as having to pay a contractor. So we know that's also a major component. We shall see. Anyway, I am Michael Hain. This is Really American. If you like our content, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Check me out on TikTok at Mike Hain Comedian before I lose that account. Talk to you later.